is in the air. Oswald, the future king of East Anglia, has fallen, killed by a rogue Dane army. He was the only man with the vision to unify this kingdom, a land where Saxons and Danes may live together in peace. For that vision, we go to war.
Ubisoft took the Assassin's Creed series back to its roots back in 2017 with the release of Origins. It marked a new approach to the series set in a massive open world with a heavy emphasis on exploration, combat, story and characters. It was ambitious and it paid off. Fast forward a year later and Odyssey arrived. Bigger, better, and did I mention it was big? No, really. Odyssey was a massive game, so big that I still have fatigue from playing it. I went back a while ago to play the DLC and gave up halfway through. Its open world is often overwhelming and its back and forth exploration can be a chore at times. This year we have another Assassin's Creed coming our way in the form of the Viking themed Valhalla. After a few hours with the game, we have a love and hate relationship with it. For starters, its darker tone is a welcome change as the Viking era delivers the opportunity for Ubisoft to present a new approach to the art style and story. From the first glimpse, Assassin's Creed Valhalla is not your Odyssey experience. The dark and gritty landscape replaces the vibrant rolling hills of Greece, the shiny shoulder guards of the hoplite Greek soldiers are now replaced with layers of thick fur, and the well-groomed and handsome fleets of men are now savage Vikings with makeshift tattoos, braided beards, and a face full of scars. If anything, Assassin's Creed Valhalla's new aesthetic is attractive. It successfully forces you into the story and world around you, even though the build we played lacked the polish of a final product. Why am I going on about this, you may ask? Well, because that's the game's biggest selling point, the Viking-themed approach. Without it, it would be a cheap knockoff of the 2018 game. Much of its mechanics feel almost identical to the Assassin's Creed formula that we've had shoved down our throats for a few years now. Is it enough to make the game relevant? Well, we hope so. Assassin's Creed Valhalla may be a tough sell for those like me with open world fatigue. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with a massive open world game, but 3 in a row with very little to differentiate itself from the others is concerning. Luckily, from our time with the game, it is damn fun. Valhalla introduces some exciting new mechanics from its combat, minigame, story and RPG elements to deliver a solid game. While much of it has been built off the foundation of past entries, a lot of it offers some cool new ways to play the game. For example, no other game we have played had us drinking ale until we could no longer walk within an hour of meeting the lead character, and no other game forced us to complete a bow and arrow shooting range while highly intoxicated and then having drunk sex with a friend.
Fool has something to teach, whether they're aware of the lesson or not.
Hey, but I could show you how to wield my plow sword.
Be plain about it, Stiff Spear. You want to lay with me, is that it?
That I do. Will you follow me? To a place more comfortable?
A good plow sword is a rare thing. Lead the way.
If there's more of this to come, Assassin's Creed Valhalla is going to be one hell of a party. Crazy Viking activities aside, Valhalla's story and characters seem strong so far. Within the first few minutes of the game, we were infiltrating a castle to slay an army and loot their goods. Fast forward a little and we were leading a fleet of ships into battle towards an incoming army of men to save the kidnapped king whose wedding we just got drunk at. These moments were fun as the intense action and chaotic battles kept us at the edge of our seat. You then get to live your inner raging Viking fantasy at the same time through the combat, as it is the most visceral to date. Smashing someone's skull in with their shield that you just ripped from their hands, beheading a soldier who got too close to you, and even tossing 2 axes at an archer in the distance. It all feels so damn good. Thankfully, Eivor has some new tricks up her sleeve too, as the robust skill tree lets you master stealth, archery and combat in different ways. This is backed by the same gear system that anyone who played Odyssey will remember. You can kit the main character out with axes, shields, clothes and more. This goes hand in hand with the combat approach you decide to go with. The Siege, as I mentioned before, relies on pure power and fast reflexes. You can now chain combos together, dealing heavy and light attacks and then finishing them off with an unlocked ability. Melee abilities are mapped to your R2 or RT trigger, making them easily accessible. L2 and LT are used for range abilities. This means you have enough room for some pretty great combos, as you can chain anything together that you wish. I can only imagine where the combat will go as you enter the later parts of the game and master more techniques. Speaking of progression, the skill tree is also much bigger now too. This is thanks to the addition of stat nodes in the constellation-like map. Stat nodes improve Eivor's attack power in stealth, archery, and pure damage in combat. These nodes also need to be unlocked in order to gain new set abilities, forcing you to refine your skill tree more than ever. The game revolves around 3 trees: Bear, Wolf, and Raven. The statue upgrade will increase those abilities as well as the gear assigned to each power. For example, the bear is red, so going down the red skill tree and equipping red icon gear will all combine together and benefit your playstyle. It is just a more advanced system of Odyssey. To be honest, however, it also allows for more freedom and refinement this time around. It is also important to note that each tree offers a little bit of everything. The Raven tree, while focusing mainly on stealth, also included a few skills to help archery too. This means you won't be locked into only taking the silent approach should you choose to focus on the Raven line. The changes to the skill trees can be felt in general gameplay. Assassinating a target, for example, is harder unless you increase the damage done in the skill tree. Some attacks also have a new focus ring that you need to time correctly in order to deal more damage. For example, when performing a stealth kill, time will slow down and a ring will appear. Press the button at the right time and you'll deal more damage, enough to hopefully kill your target. After a few hours, we explored the lands, sailed a boat around a village, plundered some keeps, beheaded some fools, drank more ale and bashed some doors down. It was fun and we wanted more. However, there is some concern here. Assassin's Creed Valhalla feels way too familiar and it could be the game's downfall. We know that we're getting a bigger map here with more land to cover, quests to complete, awesome loot to find and a massive skill tree to master. My concern that it may grow tiresome is more real than ever. Ubisoft has not invented the wheel by any means here. The gameplay is safe, and for some that is great news, and for others it is problematic. Adding a drunk mechanic and some brutal finishes may not be enough. Sure, the world is as gorgeous as ever, and I cannot wait to dive into it and explore every corner, but after a couple dozen hours, I hope it does not feel like I've done this all before in 2018. We still have some time to go before Valhalla releases later this year. It could be the best Assassin's Creed game to date, even if it feels like a clone of the 2018 game. Only time will tell how well this goes down. For me, I loved and hated parts of it, but in the end, we cannot wait to get back into it. But that's going to be all for us. We're going to leave you with some amazing gameplay. We hope you enjoy. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider liking and subscribing. And until next time, farewell.
Busy.
On they haunt you! I'll kill you! That's it!
Fight smart. Use your limit.
Going to suffer! God!
East Anglia depends on it!
Get back here!
Patience! Look for the open!